Warning, there are profanity, topics, and other opinions that could offend you. Please watch and or listen at your own risk, and enjoy the show. Hey guys, I'm RDiK here, OLDSCHOOLDUELIST, to everyone call me, and welcome back to another amazing episode of the Voidcast, where no topic is off the table. Now today we got a couple things we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about Telltale, and if you already know about Telltale, then you already know what's going on. That was my phone going off, as per usual in the podcast. But yeah, we just got some. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about Nintendo Online, just because I want to talk about Nintendo Online, and then I'm also going to talk about Pokemon Let's Go Eevee and Let's Go Pikachu, because I have like a changing opinion about the game, all because of one trailer release, or like one information release basically. But we're going to talk about all of that after I talk about, the basic things I like to talk about before the show, because I always like to start off the show with just me bullshitting for a good minute, because I like to just, keep it personal between the two of us, So, as you guys know, I'm a hardcore Yu-Gi-Oh! I'm a competitive Yu-Gi-Oh! Player. I spend more than enough money on the game. And we've been waiting for a ban list for a while. I'm just going to talk about Yu-Gi-Oh! For a second, just so you guys know, because it's something that's been on my mind for a while. And now that I've been able to think it over and watch other Yu-Gi tubers, and get just see what their opinion is. Because they're more knowledgeable on the game than me, and obviously on the competitive scene, because they follow the competitive scene a whole lot more than me. I'm more of like a casual competitive player. Like, I spend the money to play competitive level, but I'm not like, all right, I gotta go to this regional. All right, I gotta go to this event. Oh, dude, this card's coming out. Like, they're more into that. So yeah, I'm going to talk about that for a second. So, we finally got our ban list, and we had been waiting for our ban list for a while. They said the earliest the ban list is going to come out, I think they said, was, early August. Well, it's, September, and it was right before a YCS 200. They hit a couple of cards that were kind of why? And a couple of cards that were just kind of well, you should hit something else. And then they took some cards off the ban list that were really just kind of yeah, that's awesome. And then someone was just was that a good idea? And it just kind of bothered me. They finally took off a card that's been sitting on the ban list for 5 years now. Elemental Hero Stratos. That's from the back in the day with the Yu-Gi-Oh! GX players, if you've been playing that long. So that was kind of cool to see that come back. It's back at 1, but they took Our Hero Lives to 1. It was at 3, now it's at 1. So yeah, it's just, it's kind of annoying to me. And yes, it's cool I can play heroes, I just have a little bit more consistency, I can abuse the search power, but the deck relatively plays the same in my opinion. Before, it was kind of you just build, you make for the people that don't play Yu-Gi-Oh! I'll try to simplify this to where you can understand it. They make it to where your opponent can't really play any spell cards, and then also any cards get to the point where they can't be touched, they can't be used as easily, and you just protect that one card. You protect those 2 cards in general. It just becomes what we Yu-Gi-Oh! Players like to call protect the castle. You know how there's the king, and the king protects the castle. Well, it's essentially the same idea. You just protect the castle, and that is something that's super duper important in the game, well, at least in Heroes. With Stratos, yes, we have a monster that can abuse his effect, abuse his ability and everything like that. But at the same time, it doesn't really, in my personal opinion, it doesn't make that much of a difference in the way the game, the deck plays, which is interesting to me. And then they hit a card because we have what's called hand traps, and a hand trap is just a monster that has an effect or an ability that you can just play straight from your hand. It doesn't have to be on the field to activate or anything like that. It just sits in your hand, and literally during either player's turn, you could just drop this card and be yeah, I get this effect. Or yeah, this ability goes in play. And they kind of there's one spell card that came out that literally is like the biggest answer to that card, and they put it at 2, so you can only play 2 of it. And like in Yu-Gi-Oh, typically you can only play 3 of a card unless it's on the ban list, which is like, you know, forbidden. It's limited to 1 or semi-limited to 2. And if it's not on that, you can only play 3 of it. So you basically play 1, 2, 3, or none of the card at all. But the card got put to 2 that stops hand traps, and to me, I feel like that was a dumb move. Because it's like, the game has become to a point where you play hand traps, where you aren't playing regular traps, you're playing hand traps. And so this card was the answer to hand traps, and it was consistent. Like, you drew it, you played 3 of it, and that was consistent enough to draw into it most of the time. I don't know like the ratio, like I don't know the exact ratio, like, you know, 4 to 1, whatever like that. But that bothered me. That bothered me a lot. That unless like there's some like power crept reason why, like literally because of this card is at 3, there's possibly no way anybody could ever play it. Like could ever play the deck, like some upcoming deck, which is annoying as shit to me. My only thought process is there's this deck called Dangers. And they have a lot of graveyard effects, so that's my only assumption, like, now that I'm thinking about it. That is literally my only assumption, because it brought another card off the ban list and put it to 1, to where it literally, like, you dump your entire hand to the graveyard, like, you just get rid of that hand, and then draw a new hand. Like, the same number of cards that were in your hand. And, yeah, like, that's like my only assumption is, like, they want to promote Dangers, to be like the top meta deck, because like there's a set coming out soon that's supposed to have Danger support, and maybe it's going to make the deck a little more legit. So that's my only assumption, is that's why they put that spell card that answers hand traps, because that card basically answers graveyard effects in general. You activate it, you get rid of a card from that person's graveyard, and it negates the effect. So, and like Dangers, damn near all their cards activate in the graveyard. So, that's just really annoying to me. Like, that Konami is literally going to semi-limit a card, to the point where it's to help bump a deck they want to push. And that's just, to me, that's really fucking annoying. But our next ban list is supposed to become no sooner than November. So, yeah. And like they talk about the ban list release in general. Like, I'm just gonna talk about that for a quick second. Before, we used to get it every 6 months. It was like every October and like every March, I want to say, something like that. Like, there was a set date. I think it was September or March. That's what I want to say. It was September or March, or April or March, something like that. Either way, like, we got a ban list 2 times a year. And then then they were like, well, we're going to make it, like, they literally put out a thing, and we're like, we're going to bump it up. And then we were getting it, I think we got like we started to get 3 or 4 ban lists a year. And that was just, that was nice. Like, I'm not going to lie, it keeps the game relevant, you know, it helps cycle cards, like, you know, hey, this new set came out, and these cards in there are busted. Like, they're going to make the game not fun. So that helped the game become relevant and keep in line, like keep the game in line and balanced and everything like that. Because that's the point of a fucking ban list. That's the point of patch updates to nerf characters. Because hey, we released this character and now this character is too much of a counter to this character. Like, just little things like that. And that's kind of annoying to me. Like, to the fact of it just, why? And then it became. Then we started to go back to 2 a year, and then it just became, they literally said, when the ban list is deemed necessary, we're going to put a ban list out. And I don't know how many times they will say, like, oh, we're not going to put a ban list no sooner than, say, like, we're not going to put a ban list no sooner than November. So they're going to be like, okay, well, we're set till November. And then once November hits, there's no, like, set date, like, hey, a ban list is coming in 2 weeks or something like that. And it's just really annoying, because it's literally we sit around in fear to be like, do I invest in these cards for like the long haul, or am I investing in them for just a quick win and a quick like, you know, top, or like, you know, your quick win so you can get your invite to the next level or the next stage in like the Yu-Gi-Oh! Competitive scene. It's really annoying to me, and I found that really fucking stupid. But enough about that. We're gonna jump into the news and the things I said we're gonna talk about. So, but before I do that, I always like to give a huge shout out to Audioboom. They're not a sponsor, but I do give them a shout out because I love Audioboom. They're an amazing website. Granted, I'm paying for the lowest tier of their website, but I still love it. I pay $10 a month. I get access to upload to their website, which they're an amazing website. Plus, they also give me the tools to upload to other websites like, you know, Spotify, iTunes, Google Play, you know, anywhere you can put a podcast. So if you want to start a podcast, then why don't you just go to audioboom.com, sign up, you know, like I said, $10 a month for the lowest tier, and you could have as much fun as I do. If you're really passionate about having a podcast like I am, then you could do that. Now, enough about the free plugs for Audioboom. Audioboom, if you want to sponsor me, go for it. Moving on, the first thing we're talking about is Telltale. Now, Telltale is shutting down. They're closing. When I first heard this, it was just a rumor. Then they had said that they're going to just, cut their business down to a skeleton crew to finish out The Walking Dead, because they're on the Walking Dead season finale. That's a thing. That is a hardcore thing. But then we got word and news that they're just closing. They're just gonna lay off the rest of their workers. They're done. They're canceling The Walking Dead, like the final season of The Walking Dead Telltale series, not the actual Walking Dead series. They're just canceling it. They're not going to work on the game anymore. They're going to finish up anything that they have, contracts wise with Netflix, because they have a contract to make a Minecraft story mode series on Netflix. So they're working on that, and after that, they're done. It really sucks, because Telltale, once they got big and popular with the first Walking Dead season, then they went somewhere. They started to get title or more licenses to do other games and stuff like that, other Telltale series, and it just a lot of them were hit or misses. But what can you honestly do about it? Because this is something new to me that I literally learned while researching this and just learning what was going on. How Telltale makes their chapters, their different episodes, because they're an episodic game series. So instead of to me personally, instead of working on an entire game or an entire story at once, and then releasing it just episodic at a time, no matter how people play, they know how it's going to end. I mean, obviously they're going to know how it's end, but they pre-planned it and they just release it at one at a time. They still do that. They still do release episode, what's quote unquote episodes or chapters at a time. But the thing is, they would work on an episode, release it, or a chapter, release it, and then they would wait till everyone plays it and wait till they have some feedback, and then they would work on the next episode. And just base it on how everyone else plays it, so they can drive the story. And to me, that's bad design. That's bad story and bad stuff. And personally, I would rather create the whole game how I want to tell the story. Obviously Telltale, they give you different choices and stuff like that. And why don't you just casually make a bunch of different endings, and then you just chop that up, and you can still you can set plan dates. You can say okay, here's the second season of The Walking Dead Telltale series. Episode 1 comes out September 1st, and just wait a week later, September 7th, and stuff like that. Stuff like that. But actually it'd be September 8th. Well, if you went off this off a 2018 year, you'd release it September 1st, right? And then you'd go on, and then you just say, okay, well, the next episode comes out a week later. So then, it would come out September 8th. You just things like that. Personally, I think that's how you do it. That's the proper way to do that. I feel that is the proper way. Don't base it on what everyone else says. Just release it how you release it, Who cares what everyone like? Yes, that's probably a good thing to do, because then it's like you're basically waiting. You're basing it and trying to see what your majority player base does. And you could say, like, okay, well, they shot the zombie at this point. So because they shot that zombie, let's make that an important moment. I don't know. It's really weird to me. Like, and then also they had a Stranger Things license. And they were going to make a Stranger Things game as well. And that got canceled. Yeah, everything video game wise is canceled, and they're not doing it anymore. Like, I don't know, like, to me, I feel like their biggest downfall is the fact that they never really updated their UI. Like, I get it, you guys have an art style and an idea to do it, but they've been using the same UI and engine for just years, for almost every single game, which is really bad. And, I'm sorry, at some point you have to update that. You just have to make it better. You have to make it better. It's the only way it's going to work. So yeah, that's just me. That's my personal opinion. Yeah, because I would hear this time and time again from reviewers and stuff like that, like the video game people in the video game industry that I follow, and I take their opinion with a grain of salt, because obviously I have my own opinion about stuff. But their downfall was their own planning and their own how they did things, which was terrible and bad. But it sucks to see them go, because we'll never get the ending to The Walking Dead, because we were on the final season, like the very final season, and they were going to end it. So I mean, that, like I said, that really sucks. So, oh well, what can you do about it? Not a thing, except for hope and wait to see if maybe they come back and they finish it, just to finish that one story. So yeah, it really sucks to say goodbye. Another thing we're going to talk about, and before I jump into the Nintendo Online stuff, I want to talk about Pokemon Let's Go and Pokemon Eevee real quick, because they released a recent trailer talking about their legendaries. Now, this was a concern of mine. I kind of kept this concern to myself, mostly because I've seen a lot of other people talk about it. But now that I have an answer to it, like I have how they're doing it, I'm happy to talk about it. Like, I'm really happy to talk about this. So before I tell you about it, I want to just give you a little bit of background on it, on like why I'm talking about this now. I was always curious how they were going to do legendaries, like how they're going to do the 3 birds. That kind of takes that away, because in Pokemon Go, yeah, you can get legendary birds, but you gotta remember, it's Pokemon Go mechanics. So you're just throwing the Pokeball, like you work up, you do the challenges, then boom, you get that box for your field research. Boom, look, it's an Articuno. Now just catch it. Like, yeah, you worked your way to get it, but at the same time, catch it. And I was always curious, like, how are they going to do that? Like, what are they going to do to make that interesting? Besides, like, some dialogue and say, like, oh, this bird's taking over the power plant. Let's go beat it. So what they're doing, the recent release of the recent trailer, is you actually get to fight the birds. So that was kind of cool. And like, you fight them, and after you fight them, then you get the chance to catch them with the Pokemon Go mechanics. That I'm totally okay with, and that was all right. I was totally okay with that, to be completely honest. Like, I was really scared about that, because I'd be like, man, it's gonna be really boring to just like, oh look, there's Mewtwo, Pokeball, I caught it. Now I'm fighting it, and as soon as I'm done fighting it, then I get to catch it. That was cool. I'm glad they're taking that up. What is going on here? Oh, okay. My microphone is being weird, so if you heard some that was my microphone, or that was me touching my microphone. Anyways, yeah. So that's kind of interesting. And another thing that about Pokemon, about Let's Go Eevee and Let's Go Pikachu, is the fact that how they're doing the stats. Now, normally you just grind your stats and you do your IVs and EVs. Well, now you just kind of like get candies, and the candies kind of become the stats. I don't know if it's randomly. They didn't really like specify that, but they just like you you catch a bunch of Pokemon, you turn those in for the candies, and they become your stats. Now, normally in Pokemon Go, you catch a bunch of Pokemon, you get rid of them, you could either use that candy to boost up their power, like their HP, their attack, like their CP, their health, or you can just use it to level it. Now, I'm curious to see if they're going to still use a leveling system, or it's going to be a candy system for evolving. If it is a candy system for evolving, ooh, I am going to just try and beat that game as fast as possible. I'm almost positive they're going to do a level system, since there is a level system in the game. Because like I said, that'd be extremely shitty. And another like big complaint that I'm still gonna forever complain about until the game comes out and or they give some more information on that is it only going to be Kanto Pokemon? Because in the game, like in the recent trailer, they mentioned the Pokemon Go Park, and they said that you can transfer Kanto Pokemon. They specifically said you can transfer Kanto Pokemon and Alolan Kanto Pokemon. I mean, also right now, like there's only Kanto Pokemon or Alolan, but it's only Gen 1 Pokemon that they're going to bring to the Poke Park, which is extremely shitty in my behalf. Like, at least in my personal thoughts, because here, think about this. You could possibly take you could take all the Pokemon that you've been working hard for, your Gen 2, Gen 3, and partially Gen 4, because they're starting to put Gen 4 into the game. They're just like, you could wait till after the game is beat, and then you could allow that, the players to put those Pokemon in there. Like, maybe, like I said, the Sevi Islands. You can include the Sevi Islands for post-game. That'll give us more stuff, like more things to do. We'll play the game longer, as well as it'll give us more to do instead of just like, okay, I caught all 151. That's it. You just end the game. You beat the gym leaders. You beat the Elite Four. You catch the birds, Mewtwo, and you just stop playing right there. That's it. Like, I really hope, like I said this in a previous episode, I really hope they include some type of like post-game something. Sevi Islands, throw Gen 2 like in there just for the lulls. Like, hey, why not? Like, it would just make the game last longer, because I guarantee people are going to speedrun the shit out of the game or unintentionally beat the game in about a week, because the game comes out November 16th, and then we have Smash Bros. December 7th. I really feel like if they at least would make the game to give it a lot of extra play, like a lot of a lot of post-game stuff, so at least it gives us something to do till Smash Bros. Comes out, or at least makes us want to enjoy the game a lot, and not like, play, like the people that do buy the game, play it and then that's it. Oh my god, excuse me. Play the game and then that's it. Like, that's all we give a shit about. I'm not gonna lie, it is going to bring casual Pokemon Go players who own a Switch. They'll buy the game because they'll just be like, oh my god, Pokemon. Or just like people that just want nostalgia that own a Switch. They'll go buy it or they'll just go buy the package, the Pokemon Go package, or the Pokemon Switch that comes with, I think it comes with one or the other. I'm not sure. So yeah, it's really fucking shitty. I'm sorry. This game, I'm still gonna buy it. I'm still gonna play it, and once the game comes out, I will talk. And once I beat the game, I will give a full personal opinion review. It's going to be very biased. I'm going to tell you that now. It's going to be extremely biased just because I'm a huge Nintendo fan. But if the game sucks, then trust me, guys, I will tell you the game sucks. All I can do right now is just make assumptions and hope for the best. Because once the game comes out, that's it. That's literally you play the game, you beat the game, and that's it. Because I'm literally playing I'm playing Monster Hunter up until Pokemon comes out. I'm gonna play, I'll get into Pokemon Online in a second. But I'm gonna be playing Monster Hunter up until Pokemon comes out. Buy Pokemon, beat Pokemon, and if there's no post game stuff to make me want to keep playing the game until Smash comes out, I'm going to go back to Monster Hunter if I'm not done with Monster Hunter. If not, then I'm going to go to my NES games. Which that is a perfect segue into Pokemon Online, or Nintendo Online. But yes, like before I go into Pokemon or Nintendo Online, I'm keeping my expectations extremely low about the game. Some of my opinions have changed about the game, because that's cool how they're doing legendary birds and the legendaries in the game in general, or Mewtwo and legendary birds. That's changed my opinion, and it's make me somewhat be like, okay, you guys are doing something right. But my expectations are still extremely low for the game. So if the game ends up sucking, I won't be disappointed. Or if it ends up just being a quick 1 week fun adventure, I'm not going to be surprised, and I'm not going to be disappointed, because to be honest, I'm already expecting that. So yeah. But moving on, we got Nintendo Online. So I signed up for Nintendo Online, obviously, because I play Monster Hunter. Me and my friends, we play Monster Hunter, Generation Ultimate. Plus, I still play, plus I'm going to want to play Smash Online, and I'm going to want to play Pokemon. Once the actual new Pokemon game comes out for the Switch, I'm going to want to play that online. I'm going to want to play Smash Online with my friends. I'm going to want to continue to play Monster Hunter Online. And also, I'm actually really interested to see if the NES games are, if they're going to add more, they have plans to add more NES games. But here's the thing. Yes, it's about damn time they have a paid online system. And it's honestly only a matter of time. They can't continue to do it for free forever, because that shit takes money. That takes their electricity. But I'm really hoping they're putting this money towards servers, to have dedicated servers for their Nintendo games. Yes, the third-party games, they're probably going to, the third-party companies that put their games on there, they probably won't necessarily, you can't guarantee dedicated servers. But with the Nintendo exclusive games, Mario Kart, Smash, all that, they need any specific Nintendo games that are going to have a big party of people. You need dedicated servers. That is literally the only way to make the game run smooth. So here's their chance to actually grow towards it. I'm not expecting it overnight. I'm not expecting that at all overnight, to have just dedicated servers all of a sudden. But I'm really hoping their dedicated servers become a thing. I'm really hoping they at least work on matchmaking in all their Nintendo exclusive games. Because I'm sorry, a lot of the games matchmaking sucks. I have heard, I can't confirm or deny this, I heard that Mario Kart now has a chat room, like within the game, within the online, a chat room lobby or whatever. I can't confirm or deny that. I have not touched Mario Kart since I got Monster Hunter. So I can't confirm or deny that. So if you guys want to do that, you can let me know in the comments if you're on YouTube or anything else, or you can just tweet it at me, say, hey, Old School Duelist, this shit's real, they have a chat. Or you can say, yo, bro, they don't have that. But yeah, just, I don't know, that'd be kind of cool. It would be kind of cool, but at the same time, it would be kind of, annoying to be driving. You're just you're just oh, I'm gonna hit this drift, and someone's like, shit! You just hear that over your fucking headset. But moving on with Nintendo Online, their games, their NES games. First of all, I want to talk about those controllers. Yes, that is really, really cool. And you can slide them on the side and everything like that. That's really cool. But here's my gripe. You could only use it for the NES games. So, and also, because yes, they have an entire backlog of NES games, of NES games. Are they going to start including SNES games? Are they going to do, are they going to start, if this goes well in about a year, are they going to throw SNES? Are they going to bump it up to maybe Famicom exclusive games? Are they going to, I don't know, I'm just really curious because I want to know how this is. I started playing Zelda, the original Zelda game, Legend of Zelda game. That was kind of cool. It's actually, because I'd never beaten it. I'd attempted it a couple times when I was younger, but I never got it. But now that I'm older and I'm an adult, I can actually, understand A Legend of Zelda. This is Legend of Zelda at its simplicity. So I'm really curious to see, like, I'm not gonna lie, I'm having a good time. Like, I beat a first dungeon last night. Like, as soon as I played it, I beat the first dungeon. That was cool. It's tons of fun. It's something that I feel like I can play for a few hours. And then, I don't know, this is kind of cool. Like I said, they have an entire backlog of SNES games. They also have, the SNES, so they're going to do that, and then are they going to put out an SNES specific controller? I don't know. It's just, it's still really early on. It's still, like, who knows what they're going to do. They're still in the Nintendo Direct talking about, the Nintendo Online. They still said, like, yeah, there's more shit to come. Like, they had their 5 cubes. Mario hit all of them, and on the last one, it just stayed a mystery cube. So I'm really, really curious to see what else they decide to do with the game. Like, what else they're going to do with this Nintendo Online system, to see what they're going to do with NES games. I'm curious. I'm super duper curious. I don't think I'll ever buy those controllers, just because, one, they're $60 you get 2, yes, but you can only use them for SNES games. I'm not saying you should be able to, I'm not saying you should use it for every game, but I still do think you should be able to, like, if a third-party company wants to use them for their game, they should have the option to do that. Or, like, if Nintendo's like, yes, you can use these on these games, like, and then they provide a list. Like Smash Bros. No, not Smash Bros. Mario Kart, possibly. There's no LNR, so I don't know how that would work. But I don't know. I'm really curious to see where this goes and what they do with the game. Like I said, there's tons of things that they can do. Nintendo, they've proven us wrong before, and they're like, oh yeah, look at this cool thing that we're doing. And you're just like, oh shit, you guys are doing something. So I'm really curious to see like I said, really curious to see where they go with this. I'm going to continue I bought the 1 year, so if it improves, cool. I'm glad they're improving it and they're making a better service. If they're deproving it, like they're making it worse, then I don't know if I'd continue to pay for the online system, or the online, like I said, it all depends on what they do with it, and if they don't fuck it up. Because all it takes is, like, one angry person, or, like, they do one thing that angers a group of people. That group of people spreads the word, and then the word gets out, people are going to stop paying for it. Then they're going to have to go back to free games, and then they literally just release the NES games as a virtual console. So, I don't know. We'll see where this is going. I bought my 1 year for my Nintendo Online. So far, I have no complaints about it, except for those controllers, those NES Classic controllers. Other than that, the game, like the system seems like the program or whatever, the Nintendo Online seems legit, and I'm more than willing to continue the service if it stays the same. Like, if nothing changes about it and it just is an online and you get NES games, and they just add a few NES games to it, then whatever. I'm not gonna complain. Like, at least I'm getting something more than just Hey Online, because Xbox gives you, if you have an Xbox One, you get 3 free games a year, or 3 free games a month, basically. You get your Xbox 360, and then you get 2 Xbox One games if you have an Xbox One. PS4, they offer free games as well. So, like I said, like, Nintendo, I see personally that the Nintendo Online is about the same as all the other online systems. All the online services from the other systems. You got a game, that game, or you got your online services where you play online. Plus, they're giving free game. Yes, it's an NES games, but it's something. It's better than trying to spend like $5 $5 to $15 per game. I mean, like, yes. The only shitty part about the... No, I'm thinking about it. The only shitty part about the NES thing is you have to check in once a week. So if you don't check in 7 days, or check in again once a week, then you're not going to get to play your game whenever you want. As long as you check in once a week to online, then, or to Wi-Fi in general, then you get to play the games as much as you want. So yeah, that's where I'm going to end this week's episode of the Voidcast. Hope you guys really enjoyed this episode. If you guys like what you listen to, you can like, share, and subscribe to anything. You know, so you can subscribe on YouTube. You can subscribe on what is it? On audioboom.com. You can subscribe to. You can follow me on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify. You can follow me on Twitter at OSDuelist12. You can follow me on Facebook, or like my page, facebook.com/OSDuelist12. I do live streams every Monday night around 9 o'clock to see, like right now I'm just doing a Pokemon Emerald and Nuzlocke, so if you're enjoying that, you can go to Facebook and like my page, and I do live streams there. I'm trying to get a solid schedule for just uploads and live streams in general. It's going to take time. It's really going to take time to get something going that works with my schedule to where I can give you guys amazing content, or consistent amazing content every week. God damn. But thank you guys, and have a wonderful, beautiful night, day thing, or whatever.
Thank you.